Hello and happy Thursday. I hope you're having a fantastic week. Welcome back to Reality Check. My name is Rachel and I'm back again with Dr. Ivas Atwine with another hopefully inspiring conversation for you. One that will cause you to stop and think about your relationships, about how you show up at the workplace and your mental health overall. Today we are going to be discussing emotional abuse, but specifically how to tell red flags of an emotionally abusive partner. So if you are in a relationship and you've been seeing signs and you're not sure what you're dealing with, I think this is the episode for you. So grab yourself a cup of coffee. And of course, remember to share this episode with a friend, like it, and subscribe to Reality Check. Welcome, Dr. Ivas.
Thank you so much.
It's good to have you back.
Sure.
So this conversation, one of those that has been a long time coming, red flags of an emotionally abusive partner. And I think one of the things that makes this conversation hard for many people is the lines of emotional abuse can be blurry. And so a good place to start would be for you to define what emotional abuse is and maybe how it differs from your normal conflict in relationships or unhealthy behavior.
Thank you, Rachel.
Yeah.
Glad we're having this conversation, and can I probably start by clarifying that when we are talking about a partner, we're not necessarily talking about married partner. This
yes.
conversation is I feel like it's even very, very important for those who are dating.
Yes.
Because it begins at that point. Mm-hmm. Every time I'm doing counseling, especially for married couples who are in an emotionally abusive relationships, and I'm going to talk about to define it. Mm-hmm. It's very interesting that you see some of the signs they could have paid attention to
at the start,
but they didn't. They thought probably it was so much
love.
Yes. Or their love was blind. Yeah, so very important. So what is emotional abuse? Let me also probably start by saying that a human being is a pack of emotions or feelings, mm-hmm. to simplify it, but also body. Now, we know when body is abused, what happens.
Yes.
They hit you, they give you wounds. All manner of things that happen with physical abuse. So let's talk about abuse of your invisible being, right? Because that's what it is. And can I also remind people that our invisible being is the most dominant part of our being, because it constitutes 90% of you. So body is just housing. Now, unfortunately, when you are abused, you can be abused in body and also inside. But and when you're emotionally abused, I mean, either way, whether you're physically abused, you're going to feel physically rather emotionally abused. But what is emotional abuse? This is the kind of abuse that is characterized by exposure to psychological pain, right? You don't touch it, you don't have external wounds, but on the inside you have so much pain. What we call trauma. You feel so intense pain that sometimes you can't explain it. Yeah, so it is not physical, but it is it's there. It's you feel sad, you feel depressed, you feel so that intense sadness, or a behavior that causes you that kind of pain, that a behavior that causes you anxiety. You see, that causes you stress and anxiety, but mostly the intense sadness. So that is what we call emotional abuse. Right? So again, you do not see physical wounds, but you have emotional wounds. You feel broken. You feel broken. Your heart breaks. Now, Rachel, I remember that in some of the conversations we've talked about relationships, people need to know that in relationships, we invest more of our heart than the body.
Yes.
Yeah, we don't put in the body so much. Body is just there, it's body. But it is the heart. That's the biggest resource we put in. And so when it is broken, we don't see blood gushing out, but you're broken. You have wounds, you have pain. There is inexplainable pain. And definitely in my line of work, I meet people who are experiencing this painful, to a point that someone can't even cry and tears come out. They are just there, or they are numb.
Yeah.
So that is emotional abuse.
Okay. I like that you mentioned that our invisible self is more of who we are, and how we should be paying attention to our inner man, as opposed to the body. And like you said, with the body, you can see the effects of physical abuse, but who you are inside, it would take a lot of work. And I think that's where people like you come in to help someone decipher that this is what you're experiencing. You're experiencing pain, you're experiencing anxiety, you're experiencing hopelessness, and that needs to be worked on. So let's talk about the signs or patterns that indicate emotional abuse is happening. Again, like we said, with physical, you can see the signs, but with emotional, first of all, maybe how does it manifest? Let's talk through what a partner would be doing that would potentially cause emotional pain, and then what would the effect of that action be?
Okay, so I think in one of our shows I've mentioned that every person in a relationship needs a little bit of independence.
Okay.
That gets very confusing for people. They say you can't be independent when you're married. Or when you're dating, or wherever it is. But every person needs some freedom, some independence in a relationship. And I always give an example of, if I need to call my friends, I don't need to get permission from my partner. If I need to go to the salon, I don't need an exit visa. Like,
Exit visa.
you know, all those. There are certain things I need to do. So one of the major characteristics of an emotionally abusive partner is controlling behavior. Controlling. And why I was talking about this area that people don't spot this is that it's confused for love. I love you too much that I cannot, like, you have to be with me only.
Or at least I need to know where you
are. But I love you. I need. So that excessive controlling behavior. Where are you? Who are you with? Remember when we were talking about a similar situation, and I talked about people whose partners who ask, who are you with? Take a photo, show me, take a photo of the place you are at, and so that I'm sure. That kind of controlling behavior. But one of the major elements of this controlling behavior is isolating you. Isolating you. Please, any person in a relationship, please keep an eye on that. A partner who loves you should not isolate you. They should not isolate you from family. They shouldn't isolate you from your other connections, your friends, your relatives. They shouldn't. But when a partner says they love you so much and they want to be with you alone, that's a very big red flag. You can't be with your friends. Somehow they have an issue with all your friends. All your friends, and especially the opposite sex. So they cannot easily tell the difference between a healthy opposite sex relationship, which is like innocent and just friends, but they are very, very paranoid, and they don't want anyone to be around you. They just want to
control you
and put a rope around you. That's absolutely telling. And sometimes it gets so bad that someone stops you from visiting your family. Like, it's as bad as that. That's emotional abuse, because isolating you from other connections is dangerous. And I've always told people that your partner can't meet all your social needs.
That's true.
That's a heavy burden on them, because if they have to be your family, your friends,
Your
your
confidant,
confidant, your priest,
yes, everything.
your
It's a
prayer partner.
lot.
No, you need your friends. You need your of course, again, we've talked about boundaries in relationships. If it is coming from a place of you breaking healthy boundaries, then it's understandable. But please be sure that someone is not really isolating you. The other sign of an abusive partner is what we call emotional
Gaslight.
blackmail.
Oh, blackmail.
Yeah,
Yes.
emotional blackmail.
Yes.
Somehow there's no issue you bring up without turning you
it into the perpetrator. It happens a lot. Yeah.
So it's very frustrating, because then you can't have a healthy conversation. Somehow you have every conversation that should I even, I can't call it controversial. Every like high level conversation, healthy high level conversation, always ends with you being the problem.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
What we call gaslighting or emotional blackmail. And so it's very frustrating, because that means, number one, they don't have the maturity to own up to things and be able to see things from an objective standpoint. And so they are ever looking for a dumping site for their insecurities or their
lack of accountability,
inability to make hard decisions. And so somehow they are looking for someone to blame. And that can be extremely frustrating. And if you see this, in a relationship, please don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. And most of the time we make excuses for our partners, because we love them and we don't want to lose them.
Yeah.
But you have to face it and know what you're up against. If you continue with that, just know that that's an issue that you may have to position yourself around and see how to address it later on if you choose. But don't ignore it. Don't be dismissive of it. It's not a small
issue.
Not a small issue.
Yeah.
Definitely bullying. Yeah. Sometimes we are married to bullies.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course bullying is bullying. You know how someone takes you like a little girl or a little boy.
They're talking at you.
They are talking at you. They really disrespect you so much. They are never empathetic about how you feel. They just say, and again, we have excuses around why we do such dumb things, because either we say, me, that's how I grew up, or we say that's how my culture takes things, or I mean, anyhow. And I remember one time when we were doing a show, an episode on personality. There are certain personalities that are really bullies.
The
Cholerics.
Yes.
Yeah, cholerics have a lot of energy, and they also score low on grace.
Yeah.
Yeah, they score low on grace. They score low on empathy. They never take time to think about what they are going to say and how it's going to affect people. They always go full force, and they don't care as long as they make their point. They tend to be more achievement oriented. As long as I achieve what I wanted to
That's
do,
all that
I mean,
matters.
like, sort yourself. So they just bully you, and if it is decision making, they are just going to push you to make a decision, whether they have thought through, rather they have, they've asked you to think through as well and have an opinion. So once you have such a partner, that's emotional abuse.
Yeah.
It's emotional abuse. And sometimes they can even follow it up with statements like, this person is too slow for me, or that kind of thing, without considering how you feel. Please note that emotional abuse is about feelings.
Yeah.
And again, I hear people say me, I have no feelings. I have no emotions.
Emotions.
We
yeah.
don't have any person who has no
has no
emotions. So
emotions.
both men and women are abused.
That's true.
They are really,
Yeah.
really abused.
That's true.
Maybe I should also talk about what we call stonewalling. I'm sure you know that. Every time you're going to have uncomfortable conversation, then someone just puts a
Silence.
stone wall and keeps you there, and you cannot. And this happens a lot.
Yeah.
And especially again, this happens with most men. My
Yes.
brothers, I'm sure
Yes.
you know this. How you, and you know, we do stonewalling in so many ways. Either sometimes you just keep quiet, someone talks, and they're talking to a stone wall.
Yeah. You've checked out.
Yeah, you've checked out. Um, I get, I'm sure one of the one of the biggest occurrences is speaking to someone and you think they are listening, and then before you know, they are snoring.
Oh my gosh. They've gone to sleep.
They're just snoring. And so you can imagine that. How do you
Yeah.
feel? You thought you are
Disrespected.
communicating. That's highly disrespectful. And people take pride in that. Me, I have my sleep, I just sleep. That can't be. That means you're not hearing someone out.
Yeah.
And definitely there are so many. We did a session on communication.
Yes.
And this always happens. Someone says, of course, when women say we need to talk, men hear I'm in trouble and they run. Either they run, they zone out emotionally, they don't hear you, they snore, or they listen and they are not, they just look at you but they are not listening, or they hide somewhere else, they come home late so that they find you sleeping, or I mean, like so many ways
Yeah.
of stonewalling, because
Yeah.
somehow you're putting a wall so that someone doesn't really come through. And that's emotional abuse, because you're leaving the other person with an unresolved issue,
Yeah.
when actually you could have just listened, validated their feelings, and if you have no solution, you say, or you're not in a good state to
have
discuss
the
and come
conversation.
to some productive
Yeah,
place,
yeah.
you would probably say, look, let's have a conversation on this another time. But instead, you just close them out. So in that case, you have left the other person with open emotional wounds, because they were opening up, they were trying to solve a problem, but now no solution, no hearing, no listening, no validation, no nothing. Just
Yeah.
yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, and I think we should plan to have a conversation on having difficult conversations. I don't know if we have.
We haven't.
We haven't. I think it would be helpful to have a step by step, because from time to time we throw in examples. You know, this is the way you should handle a difficult conversation. If you are not ready to talk about it, this is what you should say. If your partner tells you we need to talk, rather than be scared, maybe ask her, what is
We
this
need
about?
to talk. I'm in trouble.
I'm in trouble. It doesn't necessarily mean you're in trouble. So we're putting a side note that we will have an episode where we discuss having difficult conversations. So if that's something that you like, let us know in the comments, and we'll plan to have it sooner than later.
I wanted to add
yes.
one or two more things. There is also humiliation and belittling. Yeah, humiliation and belittling. These are they are a major characteristics of an emotionally abusive person. And just imagine they call you names, because every time they do that, there's a way you feel.
Yeah.
Because emotional abuse is about actually making you feel less. Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Small.
depleting your sense of worth, your sense of confidence, and all. And so if someone belittles you with harsh words, you know, what kind of woman are you? Woman up. I've had woman up.
Really?
I've had man up and all manner of other lousy statements. But you see, someone, for instance, if they say, be a man, you're not man enough. And they don't even take time to think about how that makes you feel. That's emotional abuse. And again, I think I've said it here. Please, some of those statements, be careful. Be careful. Don't attack somebody's character. Don't attack their looks.
Yes.
Don't attack their body. Because every time you attack somebody's body, they have nothing to do about it.
That's
they
true.
have small legs, they have small legs. If they have bad eyes, if they have small eyes, like, what exactly are you saying? What are they to do about that? So that is emotional abuse, because then you have robbed this person of the confidence they need to, to feel okay and enjoy life and feel sufficient in themselves. And that is terrible. It causes so much pain. And of course it communicates rejection, because if you attack me, whichever way, if you tell me I'm not man enough, I'm not woman enough, and you don't even unpack that for me to understand what to do, what am I supposed to do with that? So it is emotional abuse. But also, Rachel, threats.
I'm going to divorce you.
Threats, I'm going to divorce you. If you don't do it, I'm doing it. And any person who does that, be careful. In relationships, under intense pressure, people say all manner of threats. I'm going to say, I'll kill you. I'll divorce you is the biggest one.
It's a big one.
And we advise, please, whenever you're under such, be careful, because we advise that under such intense pressure, make sure you say what you mean and mean what you say. That's what we advise. Say what you mean and mean what you say. Don't just say things. Don't threaten. Because threats are a recipe for disrespect. If you tell your partner once, I'm going to divorce you, and then you don't divorce, the next time you say it, they will not take you serious.
That's true.
So that threat loses value.
And you, by extension, a little bit.
Definitely, because someone looks at you
like, really?
What do you mean? So say what you mean and mean what you say. I'll go to police. I'll report you to police. If you're going to report them to police, report them. Or say what you mean
your threat.
and mean what you say. And if you're not ready for a certain action, don't use threats, because threats are terrible. And first of all, they put the other partner on pressure until they realize you're not serious after all.
You're just playing.
So don't do that. So always remember, say what you mean and mean what you say. And it also, of course, threats also come from a place of desperation or inability to engage in a more meaningful way. Because if you're able to communicate in a certain way, then do. But also, of course, when the other person is stonewalling.
What do?
Can I just emphasize that for us to avoid emotional abuse and all manner of abuse, both of us need to do some work.
Inner healing for yourself.
Now, sometimes, of course, it's we extend this or we project our own pain through our partners. And so inner healing is very important.
It is.
Absolutely.
It is. Of the manifestations that you have described, are there those that are unique to men and unique to women? Because you alluded to the fact that even men are abused, even though when we think about emotional abuse, we typically think of the women being abused. Is there emotional abuse patterns that are unique to men and those that are unique to women?
I don't think I would risk to say there are certain things that are unique to men, but definitely there are those that manifest more.
Yes.
In different
gender.
gender.
Yeah.
So, for instance, threats. Women tend to
threaten more. I'm going to leave you.
I'm going to leave you. I'll go to police. I'll go to my dad. And you know all that. I will tell the priest all those things. And of course, it comes from a place of helplessness. And I just want to say to my brothers, please listen. Listen. When your wife wants to talk to you, just listen. They're going to talk. Let me assure you. Your wives are going to talk, and they are going to repeat things.
Yeah.
You see, they can be talking about an issue. They will say 1,000 words, but out of those words, about 900 are repetitions.
Yeah.
And that's okay. That's okay, because you see, women shed off stress by talking.
Yes.
And so when your wife says, we need to talk, please just know it's not life threatening. They are not going to kill you.
Yeah.
Because I mean, psychologically, actually, I once again I want to remind my brothers that every time your wife says we need to talk, men here,
I'm in trouble.
But you're not.
You really are not.
You really aren't.
Yeah.
You only need to be present. And women, wives, or your partner, those who are not yet married, it's in the psychology of women that they just need attention, and your attention, undivided attention. Listen to them. Instead of running, listen. And when you listen, and don't listen mechanically, because we've said listen. Listen attentively.
Yeah.
Attentive listening, you listen not only with your ears, but with your eyes. You see, I always remind my clients when I'm supporting them with communication, there is power in listening with your eyes. You see, when you're talking to me, Rachel, and I look at you like this, intently, it communicates curiosity, but also respect of what you're telling me.
Saying, yeah.
You see? So when I listen, this is what we do in therapy. Any person who comes to therapy, we listen.
With your eyes.
With our eyes.
Yeah.
We don't do this and
look
we say, keep
phone,
talking,
yes.
talk on the phone and look here. No, we listen intently and we actually also lean forward. You see?
Yes.
Now, this is a skill that can actually de-escalate conflict.
Absolutely.
And abuse.
Yeah.
So just listen to me. I'm going to repeat things. It is okay. You see? So men, they tend to run. And when they run, they put this kind of masculinity. I can't even explain it. Like this scary attitude. So like,
say what you're saying, you know.
Or say what you say, I'll go. But you see, you need to listen. It's simple. That is de-escalation of a problem. So do that. Do that. So stonewalling, it is more amongst men.
Yeah.
More amongst men. Yeah. Of course, some women do
it,
but we are talking about more occurrence in the other side. What else? Isolation. I think isolation, it is
mostly the men.
Mostly the men.
Yeah.
But also it depends on the insecurities. Yeah. So again, I probably wouldn't put it on either side. It depends. But of course, men achieve more because of their power and leadership and all. Yeah. They can just say, in this home, you're not, I don't want this person and all. Women do that as well. Women can isolate a husband. Yeah, they can isolate a husband and say, I don't want to see you with this person. I'm not comfortable with your friend. I'm not comfortable with your family, especially family. Especially, we did something on in-laws.
Yeah.
But women can honestly isolate their husbands and to a point of hopelessness. You'll see a man not knowing what to do next.
Yeah.
Because And of course, with our power, a woman has power. You know, she can just chase away all your people without saying a word. Yeah, she can.
And they'll stop coming to your
Oh
home.
yeah, they stop coming, and you don't know what is happening.
Yeah.
She'll just give an eye or do something which you're not privy to.
By the time you realize, half your relatives cannot come to your home. And
Oh yes, and
you're wondering.
and they can have all these descriptions. Several, and us women, my sisters, sometimes some of the things we do are not really good. And some who are Christians, they will even put a spiritual element about my spirit doesn't connect. I feel this person. So they just isolate you in a very decent way. And you find a man is completely helpless. And you see, one of the things that us women need to know is that a man, if they engage with you over such, and they say, why are you isolating me? I need to be with my family, I need to do. They are not going to engage so much at the verbal front, because we tend to overpower them on that front. But they are going to zone out. And when they zone out, we don't know. We are not aware, and we don't see this coming, because he cannot just keep talking about the same thing and begging that you leave their friends and family to be a part of them. And then you keep justifying, because you're going to justify and overpower them. So it's very important that we listen and we get considerate and we get empathetic. Otherwise, we can easily abuse our partners without knowing. And because emotional abuse doesn't have external wounds, people don't see yet. You can keep putting out this whole facade, and you go to church, hold hands, but actually your partner is dying. So it's very important that we are a little human. I can never overemphasize the importance of being good humans in relation. Just be a good human.
That's it.
You know, be a good human.
Be a good human.
That is going to help things.
Yeah. I want to ask you a two-part question as we try and wrap up this conversation. Why do you think people miss these signs and end up staying in emotionally abusive situations? The rationalizations that, this person loves me, what keeps them in that terrible emotional abusive situation? And then as you speak, if somebody realizes, oh, hold up, I think I'm in a scenario like that. I'm in a relationship where I'm being belittled, I've been isolated from my friends and family. There's bullying happening, there's stonewalling, and all of these things that you've described. What are some first steps that they can take to either get help or get themselves out of the situation and begin to find healing?
That's right. So when people are still dating, they're not going to get exhausted yet, unless it is really intense. So someone will still believe, my partner loves me so much, they just want to be with me, or they want to. Of course, it can get exhausting, and that's why I really tell people, if someone especially is isolating you, and all the forms of emotional abuse we talked about, be careful. Don't make excuses for them. Either address it or make another decision. But the thing is, sometimes we are naive. Yeah, we are naive. We think, oh, Bambi, they love me. It's love. Oh, too much love. And so that's number one. Number two, you see, relationships are very difficult, Rachel. You see, we always get stuck in certain investment ventures, and this being the biggest, because most of the time when we have put in our energy, we have invested a lot, you have gone for introductions, and this person is still doing that. We get stuck. People get stuck. They don't know what to do, and genuinely stuck. Because now, if a partner is not willing to see what they are doing, what you do, they are just stuck. You get stuck. So you don't know what to do. You just keep in that cycle. Number three, lack of skills to address it, to define boundaries, to say, look, I'm okay with you talking to me like this, but I don't appreciate you humiliating me and belittling me. I cannot take it. That is important. And that's why I'm saying not every a person in an abusive, not every person in an abusive relationship should run away. You see? Yeah, sometimes you just need, this person has gotten used to running relationships like that and probably abused emotional abuse so many people that couldn't stand him and they've gone, or couldn't stand her and they've gone. But you're here and you're going to say, no, this is unacceptable. But for you to be able to say that, you need to be in a good, emotionally intelligent place. You have the skills, you can define boundaries, you can, you have ability for tough conversations, and that's okay. That's okay. But if you do not have, you're just going to play the victim. You're going to run. You go. Now, again, maybe one more, Rachel, why people keep in these relationships. They try out some what we call negative coping mechanisms, and they think that's working. For instance, if you have someone that is belittling, you go home, every time they are quarreling, they are doing that. And so that's how, for instance, some people go to bars and they say, I just go when my partner is sleeping. Now they think by doing that they are managing, but you're not managing. You're actually not managing. You're doing, you're
avoiding.
You are being avoidant. That's another session we should do. You're just being avoidant. And being avoidant, you don't realize that you're creating secondary stress, what we call refilling your stress bucket. You see, somehow your stress is coming out, but it's looping back. You see?
So no work done.
So no work done. Because now you had one problem, now you have a problem of coming back home late.
Which is causing more conflict.
And you could be somewhere in some place or bar or wherever, and you're not doing any wicked things, but you're creating secondary stress. So that's why it is dangerous to just keep there and you allow a situation to flow. Right.
So for someone who realizes, okay, based on what Dr. Evers is saying, I have been in an abusive relationship, what can I do to get help? As we end our conversation.
So to get help, as I said, relationships are skills, about skills and skill, and you can't just, relationship management is skill based. So you cannot just you can't just unfortunately we think we can organically just maneuver these things because we are adults. No, that's why some people are stuck. That's why we have depressed people in relationships. And so that's why therapy is so important. Please speak to someone. Speak to someone. If your partner is emotionally abusive, probably they were emotionally abused. You know, you need to understand. Now, we don't solve a problem we have internalized. That's why when we go to clinics for medical care, they start by diagnosis. Now, most of the time, because we are trapped in this relationship, we are not able to do good diagnosis of what our partner is going through, what could be happening. Also us, our own awareness. Maybe your partner, you're triggering your partner. Who knows? So it's very important for people to seek professional help. Absolutely important. Very, very important, because emotional abuse can kill faster than physical abuse. And again, I've had people say, at least if they were beating me, but really to abuse me like a barrage of negative words. And they would rather beat you and that's done. You see that? So it's very painful. It can actually affect someone. You see people wither. They wither. They shrink back because their esteem is just hit. And so it is not something to just pay attention, rather cover up and you say we are okay and we are okay. I've seen some partners who have zero esteem. A partner just bullies them to zero esteem. So it is not something to ignore, you know. So you need to know that something like defining boundaries. You think it's a thing for everyone.
No.
You don't know. That's a skill. That's a skill. Communication, that ability to hold tough conversations instead of shrinking back and you say, I'm quiet.
I want to keep peace.
When he says that, I keep peace. Which peace? You don't have peace. It's already gone.
It's gone.
You see, most of the time we are covering just a shell. Peace has already gone. So you cannot, and of course we do that out of helplessness. So it's very important that we gain skills to
manage relationships, yes. And then talk to someone. I think in talking to someone, you will know where you need to establish boundaries and maybe to diagnose your situation.
That's right.
Because you have experienced things, you've seen patterns, and now you're wondering, am I really in this kind of scenario? Am I not? So yes, do seek help. That's it from us this week. I hope that this episode has been enlightening for you. If it has, do let us know in the comments. Remember to like this episode and share it with someone who might be in a situation like this so they can receive the help that they need. Until next week, stay well, stay healthy, and keep it reality check. Bye-bye.